This story happened when I was in 6th grade. After I moved to this city, it was my final years of elementary school, and I had to transfer to new school here. Since the city was small, most students had been classmates since kindergarten, forming tight-knit groups. As a newcomer, I stood out like a foreigner, an outsider viewed with curiosity and suspicion. However, after a few days, I finally met a friend, so we weren't exactly close. Her name was Erika, the daughter of a pastor from a small church in town. Erika had long, voluminous curls of dark brown hair, big black eyes, and a bland figure that made her popular among our classmates. Since our houses were close to each other, we often hang out at the park after school, chatting about different things. One day, Erika told me about the 7 wonders of our school. Back then, our school building was still made of wood, and the dimly lit restaurants looked like they belonged in a horror movie. With such an eerie setting, it was no surprise that our school had more than 7 ghost stories. Each student seemed to have a slightly different version, so I listened to Erika's tales with curiosity. Most of her story was ones I already heard, but there was one that was entirely new to me. It was about a girl in a white dress who will suddenly appear behind anyone alone in the science lab after school. The moment they noticed her and turned around, she would disappear.
However, there is a warning. Never chase after the girl. No matter how curious you were, it was said that catching up to her would lead to something terrifying. To my young mind, the thought of a pale girl in a white dress standing silently behind me was horrifying. My palms grew sweaty just hearing Erika tell a story. From that day on, my fear on the science lab, already filled with creepy skeleton specimens, grew even stronger. I refused to enter unless someone accompanied me. One afternoon, as usual, I waited for Erika at the school gate so we could walk home together. But no matter how long I waited, she didn't show up. I remember seeing her packing up when I left the classroom, so she should have been out by now. Worried that something had happened to her, I rushed back into the school to look for her. I checked every classroom, from the music and art rooms to the cafeteria and even the adjacent school buildings, but there was no sign of Erika. Finally, I found her inside the science lab. Out of breath, I called her name, relieved that she was safe. But then, as I stepped into the room, I gasped. Behind Erika stood the girl in the white dress. Erika seemed to have noticed her too. She squeezed her eyes shut, refusing to look. My heart pounded. Was Erika about to be taken by the ghost? In a panic, I grabbed my school bag and hurled it to the girl.
To my shock, my school bag passed right through the girl and crashed into the window, shattering the glass. The loud noise made Erika open her eyes, and as she saw the eerie figure up close, she fainted. The girl in the white dress then slowly turned toward me. Her face was completely blank. No eyes, no nose, no mouth. Where her vision should have been, there were only faint indentations. I screamed in terror. Then The sound of the shattering glass had attracted attention, but at that moment, the girl lowered her head, glanced at Erica, then turned back to me. Her face began to change. A small hole appeared where her mouth should have been. Then it grew larger and larger, stretching until it reached both sides of her face, resembling a gaping, blood-red grin. Then she smiled, turned around, and ran through the door into the storage room behind the science lab. If only the story had ended there. But something inside me, fear, anger, and a strange sense of justice, compelled me to follow her. The storage room, usually locked due to hazardous chemicals, opened effortlessly, as if the door were made of paper. I stepped inside, but the girl was nowhere to be seen. The room was small, filled with cabinets containing skeleton specimens, chemical supplies, and the teacher's desk. There was no place for her to hide. As I searched for her, I suddenly heard laughter coming from above. I looked up. She was wedged between the skeleton cabinet and the ceiling.
The moment I realized this, a cardboard box fell from the top of the cabinet. I braced myself, expecting it to hit me, but instead of a hard impact, a strange powder ran down all over me. Confused, I hesitantly opened my eyes, only to find the ghostly girl right in front of me, so close I could feel her breath. Her eye sockets and nose were now turning into dark, empty holes. She smiled at me, and everything went black. When I woke up, I found myself lying on a hospital bed. Apparently, the sound of breaking glass had alarmed the teachers, who found Erica and me covered in powder and unconscious. We were scolded by both our parents and teachers for staying late and breaking school property. But what haunted me most was the strange powder. Determined to find out what it is, I pressed the teachers for answers. At first, they hesitated, but eventually they revealed the horrifying truth. The powder was ground human bones. I struggled to keep myself from vomiting. Further questioning revealed that the remains belonged to a little girl. However, since the body had long since turned to dust, and no one knew who had placed the box there, she was buried as an unknown soul. The old cardboard box had been in the storage room long before the science teacher arrived, and no one knew where it had come from. The funeral was held at Erica's family's church. As we laid flowers on the grave, Erica whispered, "Maybe she just wanted to be found. It must have been lonely being forgotten for so long." I wasn't sure if the ashes truly belonged to the ghost girl, but from that day on, no one ever saw her in the science lab again.